Manga Corner. In this episode, we are talking about the TMNT 2007 movie. I am going to give a full review of the storyline, characters, and my likes, and some of my dislikes. The storyline is about Leonardo returning from a very long training exercise to where he was gone for longer than Splinter instructed him to leave for. And when he gets back, he's got to bring the family back together in time to save the city from these monsters. The monsters storyline is a little historic to where they were over so many hundreds, thousands of years ago. This warrior was able to teleport about this portal, and his friends were turned into stone, and these monsters came through, and they got the portal closed. And the only way to undo his curse of immortality is to get all the monsters back into the portal when it opened again. But instead it was about the brothers. In fact, it wasn't even about all the brothers. It was about Leonardo and Raphael. Those were the two only characters that really made any important impact in this movie. You watch the movie and you'll see that the big highlight of the movie is their fight scene. I mean, if you're going to have a highlight of the movie, shouldn't it be the final battle scene? And shouldn't there be a reason the characters are at the final battle scene? I did enjoy the movie. I saw the movie 52 times in the theater. I never went to the dollar showing, so it was always normal expenses at the normal theaters. My very first time seeing it was at the Hollywood premiere and over at the Chinese Man Theater. It was a very fun event. I had a lot of great times there, getting to talk with people. It was a blast to see Raph use his size for the first time correctly for what they were meant to be, breaking the swords. And it was great seeing Michelangelo with the skateboard scene, but it was hard to watch and see the characters being used as fillers. Mike and Don were only there because they were expected to be there by the fans. Otherwise, they did not have enough impact to really be needed in this movie. Donatello had less scene time on screen than Casey Jones. And Splinter had less time than Don. It seemed like the key characters, main characters of Ninja Turtle history, were just background characters to Leonardo and Raph in this movie. So, Leo returns to New York City to take his role as leader. Something in the previous movies he denied. Now all of a sudden it's like, Splinter chose me to lead, I'm here to lead. And we're not fighting until Splinter says we can fight. So, Leo comes back in, Mike and Don are all happy to see him. Raph's a little peeved at him for disappearing for longer than originally planned. And then monsters start popping up. And the monsters popping up was one of those scenes where you're sitting there going, oh wow, this is an interesting twist. And you see them fighting the Foot. There's this Bigfoot monster fighting the Foot Clan. And you're like, wow, this is a pretty interesting fight scene. And the turtles are going to watch, and Raph jumps into the fight. Now, the turtles were coming into a fight scene, and they saw something fighting the Foot Clan. And they already know the history of the Foot Clan. They know who the Shredder was. They know what the Foot has done. They know the Foot are bad guys. If they see something fighting it, why would they assume that the thing the Foot is attacking is a bad guy? They don't jump in there and try to analyze if this thing is trying to fight for its own life or if this thing is out to kill innocent people. Instead, they just assume that this thing is evil because it's a monster. But if the turtles really felt like that, then they cannot blame any human that pulls a gun on them because they don't look human. So, for them to attack the Bigfoot monster that is fighting the Foot Clan, it felt really out of place, really out of character, and just should not have happened. But it did happen. And throughout the movie, you start to see the turtles trying to hunt monsters. But why? The monsters are not making the news to where they're attacking people. They've been hiding on this planet for hundreds of years, not attacking people. They've been able to make their way through society, staying in the dark all this time. Just because they start to show their face, the turtles are going to go hunting them? So I really did not feel the storyline had a reason, a rhyme. I didn't feel it at all. It just felt like I'm going there to see the turtles act out of character. One of the best fight scenes to show that these monsters are not evil at all is in the diner scene where you have Kevin Smith as the diner, and Raph comes in as the night watcher, and the diner's screaming. The guy is just like, oh my god, there's a monster in there, and now he thinks the night watcher's there to rob him. The night watcher goes in back, and there's Jersey Devil. Jersey Devil's not attacking anyone. He's sitting there eating meat. He was hungry. And he wasn't going after living meat. No, he was willing to attack meat in a freezer at a restaurant. So I don't see the evil there besides for stealing, but I don't see how Jersey Devil could get some money to pay for the meat either. So Jersey Devil's just minding his own business, trying to eat some food while somebody's screaming about him up front. Raph shows up and starts to try and threaten Jersey Devil. And Jersey at first is ignoring him until Raph says he's gonna kick his butt. Then Jersey Devil gets this look on his face like he understood every word Raph just said to him and decided to attack Raph. And then, if you listen to this scene, if you listen very closely to this fight scene, when the fridge falls on the Jersey Devil, I want you guys to figure out, what does Jersey Devil say? Yes, he uses an English word when that fridge falls on him. Yes, it is a swear word. And yes, I have confirmed this with Jersey Devil's voice actor. He actually speaks. So, are these monsters bad guys? I don't think so. They just need to be sent back through the portal, which is why Max Winters is collecting them. Another pointless thing I found with this movie was going after celebrity voice actors. They had a cast come in and record a lot of characters, including Casey Jones. He was voiced by an actual voice actor named Quentin Flynn, who does a lot of animes. He's best known in Naruto as Iruka Sensei. So we had voice actors come in and do the voices, only to be replaced by names. So we all of a sudden get Chris Evans instead of Quentin Flynn. And then Patrick Stewart is brought in. And we, of course, get Sarah Michelle Gellar as April. I'm not a fan of April in this movie. She is April the Vampire Slayer. This April does not fit any of the other April O'Neils that have ever existed in April history. She's out of character. She is so snubby. I mean, her reaction to Casey not being there and giving that bottom lip on the phone, it was ridiculously out of character. But this is all going back to this movie not being written to where all the main characters are themselves. It is a fun movie for somebody who's after an adventure with some fight scenes and beautiful graphics. Very well done voice acting. Everything really does come together as a work of art. But for an actual turtle fan, going there to see the Ninja Turtles, going there in hopes of seeing something that reminds you of the earlier 3 movies, you're walking into a movie where all the director or writer wanted was to show who would win in a fight, Leo or Raph. That's what the movie was about. You watch the build-up, you watch the climax of it, and then you watch Raph go and make his apology. You watch all that. That is where the movie actually seems to have its underlying story. As soon as that fight's over, the movie's pretty much over. So when you're looking at it, it's been overdone. Leo and Raph have fought in almost every Turtle movie. They have fought in the cartoons. They have fought in the comic books. We did not need a fight scene to be the main scene in the new Turtle movie. And I'm hoping that Viacom is hearing this, that the fans want to see something similar to the other movies where all the characters play a key role for the new Turtle movie. Please. The last movie felt like a badly written fanfic. And I said that the first time I learned what the storyline was. And I stay by that. Even though I saw the movie so many times in a theater, I went in there and over again, those little pet peeves made it so it's very hard for me to go out there and say, this movie's fantastic. As much as I love the movie, it is a love-hate relationship because of these scenes being forced on us. And Mike and Don, they're part of the team. They really are. I mean, Mike usually helps with a lot of the planning. And Donnie, his scientific know-how and being able to be there, they are part of the team that was not used. Every now and then they would show them like, oh yeah, we're helping, but they weren't. They were just there to fill in the gaps that they couldn't have Leo and Raph say. When it comes to this movie, I love Michelangelo's character for the little bit of time you see him. He says some fantastic lines. I'm not a fan of the birthday party scenes with him because I feel that if Mike was to do birthday parties, this coming from someone who really did turtle birthday parties, he would have loved that job with all of his heart. He would have enjoyed being able to go out into the public. And kids are not nearly as mean as what they showed in that movie. So when it comes to Michelangelo's personality, they had everything right besides for the birthday parties. Then Donatello, the tech support scene at the beginning of the movie is the best damn scene in the full movie. That is so true. I know some tech support people, and I've listened to conversations that relate to almost every conversation Don had. Then you got Leonardo, out of character, claiming to be the leader, claiming to be, everyone's got to listen to him. He's the boss, and he was gone for this long because he needed to be. So Leo is out of character to me. Raph is dead on in character. He's fantastically done, well written. His fights are very dead on as him, and I can see him becoming this vigilante to try and still be able to get out there and exercise his fighting. But I can see Mike and Don as well, still going out there and trying to stop crime even if Leonardo's not there. They would not stop and just sit on their butts because Leo's not around. This was shown in the original cartoon series where it says, take me to your leader. Leonardo leaves the group. Raph, Don, and Mike still go out there and try to see what they could do to help in situations. So they're not going to disappear just because Leo did. Then there's Splinter. Splinter's really well done. All my respects to Mako. He did a fantastic job as Splinter. Splinter was his last role. He passed away just after it was announced at San Diego Comic-Con that he would be Splinter. All my best to anyone who actually knew him. It's a deep respect that he actually got to work on the Turtle movies. Thank you. Casey Jones, on character, very well done. Even though they switched out voice actors, Quentin Flynn would have just been as well as Chris Evans. And really the name didn't matter that much because I don't see Chris Evans as a huge actor name. Yes, he done Fantastic Four and a few other movies. But, he didn't even bother to show up at the Ninja Turtle premiere. So, it's not like he really respected his role as Casey. And I know Quentin Flynn would have. So, I respect actual voice actors and really wish that they used more real voice actors instead of trying to get star names. As I said, I did enjoy it enough time to see and spend a lot of money on this movie. And even went out and got the Target special version of the movie for the DVD release. So, as much as I rant about the movie, I do love the movie. I'll have to do other blogs to explain some of my ranting more, including the Raph and Leo fight scene. We'll have a blog all to itself. But in the meantime, we're going to wrap this one up, asking you guys for your thoughts and views on the TMNT 2007 movie. And next week, one of the Village people takes the time to tell us about his years of working as turtles. Not just one, but more than one. Turtles in the early 1990s.